How you doing, Trina? This is John Brown's Body, your father, and I have some high school friends here. The first one is a girlfriend that I dated pretty much during my 11th grade. She was about a ninth grader, and her name was Ellen Barnard, and she died early after I visited her with you, Trina, in Trumansburg, New York. And she had cancer. That's what she died of. And then James Maybe is another one who was a close friend. And while I was back there in 2005, I went out and found his house and visited with him and his wife. And he was in poor health, kind of discouraged about his life, I think, in talking with him. He had kind of menial type jobs right near where he was living at that time. The Ordnance Depot there, Seneca County, employed him or had been employing him. I'm not sure. I think he was retired when I was there. And he kind of felt like he just hadn't made it at all. And I kind of felt sorry for him. He had a pleasant wife. I didn't see any children. I don't know if he had any, but they would have been grown up if he had any. James Maybe, that was the one I was talking about, a close friend from about the 8th grade all through high school. And then now the third one is Don Yaten. I visited him when I was back east, met his wife and so on, and he was in Corning, New York, which is where he ended up. And I tried to find my cousin when I was back there, but I never did locate her just at that particular time. And I think she had died already. I visited him earlier on one of my cross-country trips. He was. I met his wife, and I visited there one afternoon. Later, his wife informed me that he passed away. He finally didn't make it, and so he died early, also, I think. Fred Heinzelman came out west right after he graduated from Cornell University. He was a son of a Cornell University professor, and so he had they get favored treatment and they get to go to whatever school they want pretty much. And he got a degree in engineering and got a job in San Diego. He was working for let's see, Fred Heinzelman, right after Cornell graduation, moved to San Diego. And I visited him several times at his home and called him from time to time, and I used to get an annual Christmas letter, and I hadn't received it for several years, about 3 years ago. And so I figured I'd take a swing down around San Diego when I was down there, when it was convenient. And I did, and I didn't find him. He had evidence where he had lived, but the previous time I had been down to visit, his wife was in the hospital, and I met him over there at the hospital and visited with him. And that was his second wife. His first wife had died much earlier, actually from self-inflicted. She went blind because she had sugar diabetes, and it got away from her, and she ended up being blind, and she couldn't handle that, and so she shot herself, as I understand it. Finishing up with Fred Heinzelman, I checked further, and I found out that both he and his wife were dead. I had to do some skip tracing, and I found him a stepson down in Long Beach area that I got the information from. And so at any rate, he ran a wind tunnel in San Diego for virtually all his life until he retired. And then Bob Holland he may be still alive. I've lost touch with him, but I visited him by telephone while I was back in 2005, and he is at that time had just moved back home, I guess, or his folks' house, and he's the only one that had really an interesting life. He got his degree in engineering, kind of like Fred did, except that he had gone to the Air Force thing that was at Cornell, so that when he graduated, then they took him in the Air Force and made him an officer, and he got to do some quite interesting things, flying and that sort of thing. So that related to me a little bit that way, and it sounded like he was enjoying life and really had an interesting life. And then I had let's see, I missed one here somewhere. Don Yaton was the one that had kidney failure. Fred Hanselman just died of old age, I guess, about 5 years ago. And James Maybe, I don't know for sure that he died, but I'm pretty sure he wasn't going to last too much longer than when I saw him. And the girlfriend that I had was Ellen Barnard, and that's the girl that we stopped and visited when she was tending some children there in Trumansburg when you were with me in the pickup truck. Yeah, Bob Holland was that last one that I was telling you about. Had been in the military, so on. I just talked with him on the phone when I was back east. I didn't get to actually see him, but we visited for quite a while on the telephone. He had just moved into Ithaca, just moved into Trumansburg, and you were there in Trumansburg when we saw the first one I talked about, which was the girlfriend.